Hey everyone, and welcome to my kitchen. I'm gonna see if I can juggle these items. Oh, kind of, sort of. All right, I did it. So I'm super excited to bring you into my kitchen here just a bit and share with you my philosophy. And if you're watching this video, you probably have a bit of a shared philosophy on cooking and eating and nourishment in general. So no surprise, our yoga philosophy of being easy in your body and having a nice, graceful, continuous flow that feels good for you as you progress is a really useful philosophy to bring into the kitchen and simply experience this in just a different vocabulary. So instead of the yoga forms as the things that you will practice, we are working in the cucumber form and the sweet potato form and all of this. So I know with health and well-being and nutrition, there's so much emphasis put on the actual stuff, the actual produce and the foods that you're eating. But from my perspective and my experience, I love to really think and kind of dream of well-being as this continuum or this process where the cooking is a part of it. It's maybe almost the end of the circle of the process, and the eating, the nourishment part is part of it as well. But of course, it starts much, much more before all of that, before we get to all of that. So I love this idea of just getting excited first, thinking about, okay, I want to be at home a little bit more. I want to cook a little bit more. And even when I'm on the go, I want to feel supported by my kitchen, feel supported by my food choices. So maybe I can throw something in my bag or have a nice meal when I get home, and I'm not always kind of starving or rushing and picking up something that may not be so supportive for me. So really shifting the idea of food being just something that you have to have, or maybe even something you're struggling with, a relationship between yourself and food, more of this idea that the food is nourishing and supporting you in this way. So kind of making that a much more exciting collaboration between you and what you're eating as well. And in any exciting collaboration, of course, it starts way before you come together and make the art, before you come together and have that collaboration. It starts with an idea, it starts with thinking about it starts with dreaming on something, and it starts with really being confident about your own creativity and your own skills and your own belief and your own ideas. So when we practice yoga, I love this process of first slowing down, softening, so dropping the rigidity or the stress a bit, paying attention, so seeing what's going on with you, noticing what you feel. So you felt something, then you notice, oh, I feel a little maybe tight in my back or whatever it is, and then responding, so doing something about it. So instead of in the yoga form staying in a forward fold, just straightforward in a linear way, if you notice a little tweak in your back and it feels great to travel toward one side around that sphere, then you go for that. You trust your own belief system. You trust your own gut or your own feeling. And of course, this is very easy to make similarities and connections to trusting your gut when it comes to what you're doing in your kitchen, when it comes to that collaboration and healing that really interesting or maybe tough journey you've had with food in a way. So coming back to getting excited is so, so important. We're so busy. Everybody is, running from thing to thing and stress and all of these kind of modern struggles that we have, modern conveniences. We've sort of lost our relationship to the sweet potato. We've lost our relationship to this really beautiful, interesting, crazy piece of ginger. Isn't that insane? So all of these fruits and veggies, these bell peppers, when you open them up, they're amazing. They have a whole world going on inside. So I love this idea that you can really get excited. Think about food as a collaboration and something that you can do together with the food as well. So just to give you a simple trip through our kitchen when we feel supported. So this is right after we've went to the farmer's market and the grocery store, and maybe went back a few times and have really kind of settled in to have a nice stock. So when I have these kind of ingredients around, this kind of produce, I feel supported. And what that means for me is that I feel like I can be creative because I have enough paintbrushes and enough tools or enough things to work with here. So just to give you a simple tour, and what I love about this is these are the things that work for us. Of course, cucumbers are healthy. Of course, broccoli is good for you. Of course, carrots are a good idea. But I think it's really important to find the foods and find the produce that get you excited. And of course, I'm not talking about the fast foods and the junk foods and all of that, but the real healthy, nourishing, simple foods that get you excited. So if you can't stand broccoli, don't go and get it just because somebody said it. I'm hopefully not trying to influence you in that way. But if you love Brussels sprouts, then head in that direction. So I think that's a nicer way to explore, where you can trust what your body is saying. Your body is talking, and in this modern life, we've really kind of stopped listening. So for me, really, shopping and going to the farmer's market and going to the grocery store is reopening that conversation of listening. So I love to think about kind of moving from your center, just as we would move in yoga practice, to move our bodies around, and same way in relationship to other people with connection, moving really from our gut, from our center. So when you're picking out your produce, you can really let your center decide, which lime is the best, which lime wants to have a collaboration with you. So I know maybe that's a little strange, but I think it's really important not to just treat this as a health object. We want to be healthy so we can live very creative, very interesting, very exciting lives. We don't want to be healthy, hopefully, just to be healthy. This is a living collaboration. You're artistic and creative and amazing. So all of these foods can help and support you in that as well. So just a nice different shift. So again, this is the last thing and almost the least important thing, although it's very important. So I've got limes and lemons, of course. I love to toss that on greens and salads and even in smoothies and soups and sweet potato mash and pastas and all kinds of things. Cucumbers, I love just for munching on around the house. Peel them up a little bit for Daisy, and we have a bowl of cucumbers, and we're so happy. Sweet potatoes for veggies, for soups, especially in the winter time. I love making a nice sweet potato based soup, or just mashed sweet potatoes, or slice them up, put them in the oven. A little bit of coconut oil and maple syrup is amazing too. Same thing with carrots. I love to make, it may be a little strange, but mashed carrots, kind of just like mashed potatoes. Tastes really great too. Bell peppers, again, Daisy loves just to snack on these. I love to put them in salads. It's really amazing. Or even in the oven with the baked sweet potatoes. Grapes, we had a bigger pile of grapes, but Daisy ate a lot of them. So grapes, there we go. Apples, love for salads or just munching on as a snack as well. A little almond butter, peanut butter, easy. Again, I feel kind of silly taking you through this stuff because it seems so self-important in a way. It's literally the same things that you would get, or maybe a little bit of differences as well, or variety. So again, these are important, but it's most important that you find the things that you love. And these are the things that we love. Avocados. A good friend of mine, Jasmine, said avocados are not going to save the planet, but they are good for you. So I love this idea of, maybe one in my life a day, but not 25 is a good idea. So non-sweet potatoes, so white potatoes as well, just have those around. Nutritional yeast, so cheesy, so good. So great for baked pasta or on salads, things like that. Spinach, I love. One of my favorite smoothies. If you guys know me, I call it the green dream. Spinach, banana, and almond milk, sometimes a little almond butter. Amazing. Then moving over toward the oatmeal. Lots of cool things with oatmeal that I've played with over the years. You can do it baked or just, regular preparing. Granola, I know it's so crunchy, but so easy, especially for a snack or even for lunch. I'll have a bowl of granola sometimes if I'm at home writing or something like that. Cashews, nuts, whatever. Oat milk is my new, and I think a lot of people's new obsession. So we have this in coffee. We do have coffee in the morning and in the afternoon and maybe another time of day, to be honest. But oat milk in the coffee or in smoothies as well, or in granola. And pasta, I love going and getting really interesting and really beautiful, pastas as well that look really, really nice and cool because, I think food should be pretty. So, you can find these really interesting, cool pastas and, gluten-free, wheat, different options according to what works for you and your family and your body. But I think there's so many different ways you can get really creative in the kitchen, but the most important thing is to do what makes you happy and to have a nice base so you can really start to explore. A couple last things here. Hot sauce. I love hot sauce. I love going to Mexico City and exploring hot sauces. So this is a really nice one. Olives. I love all kinds of olives and salads and just for snacks. Crushed red pepper flakes are my life. As you can see, this bottle is kind of, we're coming to the end of that. We've got a couple more spices here. Paprika, great on salads and soups as well. Cinnamon, which is just, amazing. I do a really kind of super basic thing, which is boil water. Put a little bit of incredible ginger. How beautiful is this? This is just like, life right here. Ginger, shave that off in some water, boil it, maybe a little bit of lemon squeeze as well. And then sometimes just a little bit of cinnamon sprinkled on top. So, or baked apples. Come on, that's amazing. How crazy is it that you can just put an apple in the oven with a little cinnamon inside, cut out a little piece, and your whole house smells like apple pie. There's so many things you can do. So as you can tell, I get excited and I feel supported and creative when I have things around me that make me feel comfortable. Things that I know, things that I've played with, so I can really expand that comfort zone and try new recipes and try new things. But I hope this is exciting for you to really begin and keep yourself in that nice path of moving from your middle and continuing that circle of nourishment and hopefully well-being for the sake of supporting you in your life with all of your ideas and adventures and awesome things that you are being and doing in your life. So get excited in the kitchen, and I'll see if I can do this one more time. And whoops, and I'll see you soon. Oh, drop that one over there. That's all right.